Welcome back to Larry Reidy's America and our countdown to the 250th birthday of the United States. Today we focus on 1815, the dramatic final year of the War of 1812. It was a year of paradox and irony. The Treaty of Ghent had already been signed in Europe, ending the war, yet the most famous battle, the stunning American victory at New Orleans, took place afterwards. Out of hardship came triumph, and out of war came a new spirit of national pride. On December 24th, 1814, American and British negotiations signed the Treaty of Ghent in Belgium. The treaty restored relations the way that were before the war. No land changed hands, and the maritime issue that sparked the conflict, like impressment, was left unresolved. Still, the treaty marked a survivor victory. The young United States had stood its ground against the world's greatest empire. In an age before telegraphs, the treaty's news crossed the Atlantic only as fast as sailing ships could carry it. Weeks passed before Americans learned that peace had been secured. During the gap, one of the most significant battles in U.S. history was fought, unnecessarily, but with enormous consequences for national pride. The British, unaware of the treaty, launched a major campaign to seize New Orleans, the vital part of the mouth of the Mississippi River. If successful, they could choke off Western trade and cripple American economy. Thousands of seasoned British soldiers sailed to the Gulf Coast in early January 1815. General Andrew Jackson, already famous for his fierce leadership in the Creek War, organized New Orleans defense. His army was a remarkable mix: regular U.S. soldier, frontier militia, free African Americans, Choctaw allies, and even pirates under Jean Lafitte. Jackson's ability to unite them into a disciplined force would prove decisive. On January 8, 1815, British troops charged Jackson's entrenched lines. The Americans, fortified behind earthworks and artillery, poured fire into the advancing redcoats. The results were devastating. Over 2,000 British casualties compared to less than 100 Americans. The battle was over in less than an hour, a stunning and lopsided victory. The triumph of New Orleans made Andrew Jackson a national hero overnight. He was celebrated as the defender of the Republic and a man of the people. This fame would propel him to the presidency 13 years later, reshaping American politics for decades. When the news of the Treaty of Ghent finally reached America in February 1815, the timing couldn't have been better. Combined with the New Orleans victory, the treaty was hailed as a triumph. Americans chose to see the war not as a stalemate, but as a second war of independence successfully won. Meanwhile, the Hartford Convention, where discontented New England Federalists had met to protest the war, became a political disaster. Their talk of states' rights and even possible succession appeared treasonous once victory and peace were celebrated. The Federalist Party never recovered, fading from national influence. The war's end ushered in a period of national unity and optimism. The economy revived, westward expansion accelerated, and political divisions briefly softened. The post-war period became known as the era of good feelings, with the United States more confident in the place of the world. By the end of 1815, America had emerged, scarred but stronger. The capital had been burned, but the republic survived. National pride surged, the military earned respect, and Americans increasingly believed their destiny lay in continental expansion. The War of 1812, for all of its costs, cemented the nation's independence once and for all. Before I go any further, let's look at what really the human cost of the War of 1812 was. United States battle deaths, about 2,260. Wounded in action, about 4,500. Now catch this one. Death from disease and other causes, 15,000 to 17,000. Total deaths, combat plus disease, roughly 20,000. British Empire, including the Canadian militia, battle deaths about 1,600. Wounded in action about 3,600. Deaths from disease and other causes, 3,000 to 5,000. Total deaths, combat and disease, 8,000 to 10,000. So it was kind of a lopsided as far as U.S. casualties. But again, it had to be done. In my opinion, if the War of 1812 wouldn't have been fought, that we would never have survived as a nation. And we'd be having tea and crumpets and happy hour instead of beer and chips. Anyway, let's look at some flaws for 1815. The war itself was fought with poor planning and political disunity. The Treaty of Ghent resolved little of the original disputes. The Hartford Convention showed how fragile unity could be, and Jackson's rise also revealed the coming age of populist politics, which would bring new tensions. 1815 symbolized triumph out of adversity. The victory at New Orleans, that was sensational. Collapse of the Federalists and the spirit of renewed confidence gave the United States momentum. For resilience, pride, and sense of identity forged in fire, I have to give 1815 a B plus. I think our growing nation was just becoming a remarkable country. So, as closing, 1815 marked the end of America's Second War with Britain and the beginning of a new era of confidence. The war resolved little on paper, but to hearts of Americans, it was a victory that proved the Republic could survive against the greatest odds. From the muddy swamps of New Orleans to the halls of Ghent, the United States stood firm and emerged stronger. This is Larry Reidy, and you've been listening to Larry Reidy's America Countdown to 250. Join me next time as we turn to 1816, a year of transition when James Monroe rose to the presidency and the era of good feelings truly begins. Thanks for listening. God bless you. God bless the United States of America. And I will talk to you on the next podcast.